evening, my little angel. What do you look forward to most when Tet comes? There is a Tet custom that even now, many years after becoming an adult, I still like it. That is receiving lì. Lì means lucky money. The Vietnamese tradition of giving lucky money on Tet original started by putting a small amount of money in a red envelope and giving it to the children. This symbolizes wishes of good luck, good health, and the best. In Vietnam, lucky money for children is only available during the Lunar New Year. One of the stories about the meaning of giving lucky money on Tet says that giving lucky money is the way that the elders in the past believed could protect children from bad things and demons. According to the legend, to avoid bad spirit from harming children on the New Year's Eve and the first night of the New Year, the gods turned into coins placed under the children's pillow to scare them away. This led to the Vietnamese custom of giving lucky money to children on Tet. The legend associates the tradition of lucky money with the kings of the Tang dynasty of China, giving gold and silver in red envelopes to protect the newborn prince. After that, the custom of lucky money spread widely among the people. Although there is no scientific evidence about the ability of lucky money to bring luck, but it still brings joy. As for me, I feel happy that I am noticed and cared for when I receive lucky money from adults. And you, how do you feel? I wish my little loves, family, relatives, and friends a Lunar New Year filled with happiness, lots of loves, and receiving lots of lucky money. And tell me about your feelings. Today's story time concludes the childhood journey with Totto-chan. Let's listen until the end together. The Other Friends. Sako-chan, Sako Matsuyama, now Mrs. Sairo, the girl with the large eyes who was wearing a pinafore with a rabbit on it the day I started at Tomoe, entered a school that was in those days very difficult for girls to get into, now known as Mita High School. She went on to the English department of Tokyo Women's Christian University, became an English instructor with the YWCA, and is still there. She makes good use of her Tomoe experience in their summer camps. She married a man she met while climbing Mount Hotaka. They named their son Yasutaka, the last part commemorating the name of the mountain on which they met. Amadera-kun, Kazuo Amadera, who loved animals, wanted to be a vet and have a farm when he grew up. Unfortunately, his father died suddenly and he had to drastically alter the course of his life, leaving Nihon University School of Veterinary Medicine and Animal Husbandry to take a job at Keio Hospital. Currently, he is at the Central Hospital of the Self-Defense Force in a responsible position connected with clinical examination. Aiko Shaisho, now Mrs. Tanaka. Aiko Shaisho, whose great-uncle was Amuro Togo, transferred to Tomei from the elementary school attached to Aoyama Gagen. I used to think of her in those days as a very sedent and proper young lady. She probably seemed that way because she had lost of her father, a major in the 3rd Guards Regiment, who was killed during the Manchurian incident. After graduating from Kamakura Girls' High School, Aiko married an architect. Now that both her sons are grown and in business, she spends most of her leisure writing poetry. So, you are carrying on the tradition of your famous aunt, a poetess laureate at Emperor Meiji's court? I said. No, she replied with an embarrassed laugh. You are as modest as you were at Tomoe, I said, and as ladylike. To which she ventured by way of reply, you know, my figure's the same now as when I played Benkei. Her voice made me think that a warm, happy household hers must be. Aoki Keiko, now Mrs. Kuwabara. Keiko-chan, who had chickens that could fly, now married to a teacher at Keio University Elementary School. She had a married daughter. Yoichi Migita, the boy who promised to bring those funeral dumplings, took a degree in horticulture. But he had always liked drawing, so he returned to college and graduated from Musashino College of Fine Art. Now he runs his own graphic design company. Ryo-chan, the janitor who went off to war, came home safe and sound. He never fails to attend the Tomoe reunions every November 3rd. At last, I want to write about the headmaster Kobayashi. The headmaster Sosaku Kobayashi, who had the inspiration and vision to set up this wonderful school, was born on June 18, 1893, in the country northwest of Tokyo. Nature and music were his passions, and as a child, he could stand on the bank of the river near his home with Mount Haruna in the distance and pretend the gushing waters were an orchestra which he could conduct. He was the youngest son of 6 children in a relatively poor farming family and had to work as an assistant school teacher after an elementary education. However, obtaining a necessary certification to do it was quite a feat for a boy that age, and it showed exceptional talent. Soon, he got a position at the elementary school in Tokyo, and he combined teaching with music studies, which finally enabled him to carry out his cherished ambition and enter the music education department of Japan's foremost conservatory of music, now the Tokyo University of Fine Arts and Music. On graduation, he became a music instructor at Seikei Elementary School, founded by Haruji Nakamura, a wonderful man who believed a child elementary education was paramount. He kept classes small and advocated a sufficient free curriculum to bring out the child individuality and promote self-respect. The study was done in the morning. Afternoons were devoted to walks, plant collecting, sketching, singing, and listening to discourses by the headmaster. The headmaster Kobayashi was greatly influenced by his methods and later instituted a similar curriculum at Tomoe. While teaching music there, the headmaster Kobayashi wrote a children's operetta for the students to perform. The operetta impressed the industrialist Baron Iwasaki, whose family founded the giant business enterprise Mitsubishi. Baron Iwasaki was patron of the arts, helping Yamada Kosuke, doyen of Japanese composer, as well as giving financial support to the school. Baron offered to send headmaster Kobayashi to Europe to study educational methods. The headmaster Kobayashi spent 2 years in Europe from 1922 to 1924, visiting schools and studying ceramics with Sir Dancros in Paris. On his return, he established Seijo Kindergarten with another man. The headmaster Kobayashi used to tell the kindergarten teachers not to try and fit the child into preconceived molds. Lead them to nature, he would say. Don't cramp their ambitions. Their dreams are bigger than yours. There had never been a kindergarten like it at Japan. In 1930, the headmaster Kobayashi set out for Europe for a further year of study with Grand Cross, traveling around and making observations, and decided to start his own school on returning to Japan. Besides studying Tomoe Gakuen in 1937, he established the Japanese ceramics Association. Most people remember him as a man who introduced ceramics in Japan, and for his work in connection with the Kunitachi College of Music after the war. There are a few of us left who directly experienced his teaching methods, and it is a tragedy that he died before he was able to establish another school like Tomoe. Even as it burned, he was already envisaging a better school. What kind of school shall we build next? He asked in high spirits, undaunted by the commotion around him. When I began writing this book, I was amazed to find the producer of Tetsuko's Room, my daily television interview program, a producer I had to work with for years, had been doing research on the headmaster Kobayashi for a decade. He had never met the educator, but his interest was aroused by a woman who once played the piano for the children during mixed classes. Children don't work like that, you know. The headmaster Kobayashi had said, correcting her tempo when she first began. Here was a man who attuned to children that he knew how they breathed and moved. I am hoping Karuhiko Sano, my producer, will write his book soon to tell the world a great deal more about this remarkable man. 20 years ago, an enterprising young Kodansha editor noticed an essay I had written about Tomoe in a women's magazine. He came to see me, armed with a great many parts of paper, asking me to expand the material into a book. I guiltily used the paper for something else, and the young man became a director before his idea materialized. But it was he, Katsuhisa Kato, who gave me the idea and the confidence to do it. Not having written much then, a whole book seemed daunting. In the end, I was introduced to write a chapter at a time as a series of articles for Kodansha Young Woman magazine, which I did from February 1979 to December 1980. Every month, I would visit the Chihiro Iwasaki Museum of Picture Books in Shimosakuchi, Narimaku, Tokyo, to select an illustration. Chihiro Iwasaki was a genius at depicting children, and I doubt any artist anywhere in the world could draw children in as lively a way as she. She captured them in their myriad moods and attitudes, and could differentiate between a baby of 6 months and one of 9. I cannot tell you how happy I am to have been able to use her drawings for my book. It is pretty uncanny how well they fit my narrative. She died in 1974, but people constantly ask me whether I started writing my book while she was still alive, which shows how true to life the paintings are and the tremendous variety of ways in which she depicted children. Chihiro Iwasaki left nearly 7,000 pictures, and I was privileged to see a great many of her original paintings through the kindness of her son, who is the assistant curator of museum, and his wife. I am grateful to the artist's husband for his mission to reproduce her work. I am also thankful to playwright Tadasu Lizawa, curator of the museum, of which I am now a trustee, who kept urging me to start writing when I procrastinated. Miyo-chan and all my Tomoe friends were naturally a tremendous help. Heartfelt thanks too to my editor of the Japanese edition, Keiko Iwamoto, who kept saying, "We must make this a really splendid book." I got the idea for the Japanese title from an expression popular a few years ago that referred to people being over by the window, meaning they were on the hinge or out in the cold. Although I used to stand at the window out of the choice, hoping to see the street musicians, I truly felt over the window at the first cold, alienated and very much out in the cold. The title has these overtones, and another, the window of happiness, and finally opened for me at Tomoe. Tomoe is no longer, but nothing could give me greater joy if it lived for a little while in your imagination as you read this book. Tetsuko Kuroyanagi, Tokyo, 1982. Today's story time is over. I wish my little angel a good night's sleep. Kiss you long on your forehead. See you again next time.